What's going on, you guys? It's KP here. Do another boxing prediction. Today I want to be talking about the upcoming fight between Manny Pacquiao and Juan Manuel Marquez. Here we go again. First off, before I start talking about that, I just wanted to mention the Austin Trout Miguel Cotto fight. I didn't get a video up on that fight, but I would have picked Trout by decision. I didn't think he was going to be as dominant as he was against Cotto. I figured maybe he'd win like a 7-5, 8-4 type fight. It was a much wider margin than that. Cotto at this point in his career, he's just been through too many wars, and he has problems against slick, fast guys. You know, guys with hand speed, foot speed. Those guys give him problems. That Zab Judah, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, people like that give him problems. But you know, Cotto's still a great fighter in my eyes. He's still willing to fight the best out there, and you can't take nothing away from him. So I would have picked Trout by decision. I didn't think it was going to be that dominant of a performance. You know, Austin Trout's a really good fighter. Maybe him and Canelo can get it on if Canelo wants to actually grow a sack and fight someone that's not 45 or plus years old. Or coming off a knockout loss. Just saying. But let's go over this Pacquiao-Marquez IV fight. I went back the other day and watched the third fight between them, which I think is going to be pretty much a carbon copy of this upcoming fight. I think it's going to be the same thing. Neither of one of these fighters has changed that much in a year. Pacquiao's camp is sitting here saying, we're going to tell him to be more aggressive, and he's been laying off in fights. That's bullshit. They're just lying to you. He's going to fight the same way he fought him last year. But there's only so much you can change in 12 months. But let's go over the third fight, which if you saw my video after the third fight, you know I really thought that Marquez pretty much dominated the fight. I figured I'd give Pacquiao a fair shake and watch the fight again and try to be a little more objective, because that post-fight video I was pretty pissed and kind of half drunk. But I know what I saw. Well, let's go over it. Let's go round by round, and I wrote down some notes on my little sticky pad here on my Mac, and we'll just go over it. The first round comes out. I gave the first round to Pacquiao. It was kind of uneventful. Pacquiao landed the better shots. Was a little more active. You know, Marquez was really just trying to get his timing in this round. I gave it to Pacquiao. Second round, again, was uneventful, but I think this time Marquez landed the more effective shots, and Pacquiao was missing a lot of his stuff. The third round I gave to Pacquiao. Pretty much same as the first round. The first three rounds of this fight were, you know, everyone was like, they're going to come out and batter each other. They were real technical, real tactical. And, you know, Marquez takes a few rounds to get going against someone like Pacquiao. It's happened to every one of their fights. Pacquiao wins the early rounds, Marquez adjusts and wins the later rounds. So 1 through 3, I gave 2 rounds to Pacquiao, 1 to Marquez. The fourth round I gave to Marquez, and the fifth round I gave to Marquez. The fifth round is where things started going downhill for Manny Pacquiao. The fifth round, if you didn't score the fifth round for Marquez, you need to quit watching this video. You need to quit watching boxing, because that was a very, very clear round for Marquez. 6 was a close round. I think that it came down to the last 30 seconds, and I gave the round to Marquez because he closed it out with a beautiful combination of body punches at the end that seemed to hurt Pacquiao. 7 round was a humongous round for Marquez. He was constantly countering over Pacquiao's left hand, constantly countering with very hard shots. Pacquiao just couldn't land anything clean. He was throwing with bad intentions, but he couldn't land anything. You have to land punches to win a round. And the commentators, just don't listen to them, because Jim Lampley seems to think everything that Pacquiao throws lands, and it's not true. Just like in the Bradley fight, you know, Pacquiao was throwing some good shots, but they weren't landing. The 8th round, I gave another clear round for Marquez. He was landing very efficiently. You know, Pacquiao was using all that fancy footwork and dotting in and out, but it was to no avail. It was to no avail. You know, he couldn't land his punches. You can dance all around the ring all you want, but if you don't land your punches, you're not going to win the round. The 9th round I gave to Pacquiao. I think he kind of staged a little mini comeback. Marquez may have been taking a round off. Things started to favor Pacquiao. They got into some exchanges that favored Pacquiao. Uh, gave that round to Pacquiao. So through 9, I have the first, the third, and the ninth round for Pacquiao, and the second, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh, and eighth round for Marquez. Round 10, we're going to start the championship rounds. Marquez won this round pretty much clearly. He controlled the pace of the round. He landed the much cleaner shots, and Manny seemed to let off the gas after a little cut open over his eyes. He just didn't do anything. I mean, go back and watch the last minute and a half of that round. He didn't do anything. So the 10th round was clearly for Marquez. 11 was a semi-close round. I think it could have went either way. I gave it to Marquez, though, because, again, he was successful in slowing Manny Pacquiao down. They fought at Marquez's pace, not Pacquiao's pace. And he was landing clean, flush right hands. And I put on a little note here. After the 11th round, Roach told Pacquiao that he needed a knockout to win, or at least a knockdown, which would have been the case on my scorecard. On my scorecard, he basically needs a knockout at this point. And Nacho Beristain, however you want to say it, and Marquez's corner, he seemed very confident. He was like, you pretty much got this one, Juan. Don't do anything stupid. Just, win the fight. Don't go out of your way. Don't do anything stupid. 12th round, everyone's like, Marquez didn't do anything this round. It was still a close round. And Marquez landed some good shots here and there, but I gave it to Pacquiao. I gave the 12th to Pacquiao. He put in the work, and he took the final round. Doesn't mean he took the fight. On my scorecard, I had it 8 rounds to 4 for Marquez. I'm seriously, the only other round I could have gave to Pacquiao would have been the 11th. It was semi-close. But even that wouldn't have made it a draw. That would have still made it, on my scorecard, 7-5 for Marquez. Especially the 5th, 7th, 8th, 10th rounds. If you didn't give those to Marquez, then you're just either a nut hugger for Pacquiao, or you just don't know what you're watching and just don't know anything about the sport. Those 4 rounds were the most clear rounds of the fight. Pacquiao didn't have a really, really clear round that he just dominated in this fight. Even the 12th, even the 1st and the 3rd, they were still kind of competitive. The 5th, the 7th, and the 8th rounds for Marquez were dominant. They weren't even close. Again, I've watched all 3 fights. I had the first fight a draw. I had the second fight slightly for Marquez, but I could see it being given to Pacquiao. The second fight, I could actually see someone giving it to Pacquiao. The third fight is the clearest one, in my opinion. There's pretty much no way I could give this fight to Pacquiao. He didn't. Again, I got to stress this. You can't rely on CompuBox all the time. Even in Mayweather fights, everyone probably thinks I'm like a Mayweather fan at this point because of how much I rag on Pacquiao. Even in Mayweather fights, I think Mayweather misses more shots than they give him credit for. Sometimes I think he lands more shots than they give him credit for. Pacquiao loads up on all these big lefts, and it looks flashy, but it doesn't land. If you go back and look at the replays, half the time he's missing these shots. They're going over Marquez's shoulder. Marquez is blocking them down. But still, there is one thing I did notice for Pacquiao in this fight. Early on, he can still land his straight left hand, which is always going to be dangerous against anyone he's facing. That is a dynamite punch. It can put you out like that. So what do I think is going to happen in this fight? I think you're literally going to see Pacquiao-Marquez III again, but maybe one difference. You may see Pacquiao start coming out of the gate a little bit quicker. He may win the first 3 rounds clearly, which would be good for him because he needs to take the early rounds. Pacquiao seems like recently he's been kind of letting off the gas in every fight. Even the Marquez fight, like the first 2 fights, he threw a lot more punches, it seemed like to me. I didn't go back and look at the CompuBox stats, but it seemed to me that Pacquiao was more active in the first and second fight. That's why I could see the second fight going to Pacquiao, pure activity. A judge could give it to Pacquiao on that. In the third fight, it didn't seem like Pacquiao was throwing that many more punches than Marquez. And Marquez was landing huge shots. Go back and look at a highlight reel. and look at the number of huge punches landed by each fighter. You're going to see that Marquez in the third fight landed huge punches. There could be a knockdown in this fight. If there's a knockdown, I think Pacquiao will get it. If there's a knockout, I think Pacquiao gets it. I don't think Marquez is going to knock Pacquiao out. Pacquiao's got a really good chin. He's really fast. He has good reflexes still. I don't see him getting knocked out. He could get, maybe a cut could open or something and get stopped, but he will not be on his back getting knocked out in this fight. I don't think Marquez gets knocked out. I think it's going to go 12 rounds again, just like all the other fights, because it doesn't matter what you say. Pacquiao can fight as hard as he wants. The harder he comes at Marquez, the worse it's going to be for him. Marquez is a counterpuncher. He feeds off of people coming in and applying pressure to him. That's why he's so good and so hard to beat. Pacquiao looks so ordinary and so bad against him because Marquez's style is the counter to Pacquiao's style. Just like Mayweather's style is the counter to Pacquiao's style. Someone like Margarito or Claudio or Oscar De La Hoya or Ricky Hatton, someone that's going to come in and apply pressure, Pacquiao's going to knock the living daylights out of them because he's faster than them. He's a more dynamic puncher than they are. He has better angles, and he's just better. That's what he does. If you come at him, you're going to lose the fight, unless you know what the hell you're doing. I think probably the only person in the boxing I think could come forward on Pacquiao and have success would be Floyd Mayweather, and I still don't think Mayweather would do it. I think Mayweather would be backing up against Pacquiao and trying to lure Pacquiao into throwing that left and countering it. It's very hard to come forward against Manny Pacquiao. Everyone says he can't fight off his back foot. That's true to an extent, but I guess I could see what you mean by fighting off the back foot. He has to kind of, circle around, plant himself, and then ambush you. But he's very good at doing that. If you come forward against him and you don't have a supremely good defense, you're going to get either knocked out or you're going to lose by a wide margin. Marquez has a good defense. He can come forward on Pacquiao anytime he wants. He's had 36 rounds. They've had 36 rounds with each other, and Pacquiao is still fighting the same way he fought in the first fight. The only thing he did different this fight was he looked like he didn't throw as many punches, which is not good for him. He needs to be active. Again, if it goes to the scorecards, I'm going to go ahead and make my official prediction right here. If it goes to the scorecards, I highly suspect that Pacquiao will get the decision even if he loses the fight, just like I thought he did the third fight. I clearly saw Marquez win that fight. Out of the 3 fights they've had, that was the clearest fight to me as to who won, and it was Marquez. But Pacquiao still got the decision because they were trying to make that Mayweather fight. Guess what they're trying to do again? They're trying to make a Mayweather fight. They're trying to make a Brandon Rios fight. I guarantee you, I can almost guarantee you, if this fight goes to the scorecards, Pacquiao will win. It may be another split decision. It may be another majority decision. Whatever. Pacquiao will win if it goes to the scorecards. Aside from bullshit, I think if it goes the distance, I think Marquez wins it again. I think it's going to be just like the third fight. I think Marquez will win it clearly. Maybe 7 rounds to 5, 8 rounds to 4, 9 rounds to 3 even. After the 3rd and 4th round, I think Marquez is going to take over this fight just like he did in the last fight, just like he did in the second fight, just like he did in the first fight. I don't see anything changing. Pacquiao's camp can say all they want about him. We've been laying off and we've been taking it easy. No, you haven't. That's such bull crap. He's getting older, guys. He's not 25 anymore. He's not 28, 29 like when he fought Oscar De La Hoya and could just throw 80, 90 punches around and just obliterate you. Is he still a great fighter? Is he still a top 10 pound for pound? Yes, of course. He still has blistering hand speed, still has great power, he has probably the best feet in boxing, honestly, best footwork I've seen in a very long time, maybe since Sugar Ray Leonard, sorry. He has great footwork. Even better than someone like Floyd's or, I don't like Adrian Broner's footwork per se. I think he's more of a stationary fighter at times. But, I think Pacquiao probably has the best feet in boxing, and he's still a great fighter, but he's fighting yet another guy that has a style that's going to give him trouble. His last 3 fights have been against non-tailor-made opponents, and that's why he's looked like crap in his last 2 fights. Everyone's like, he's just taking it easy. No, he's fighting guys that know how to negate his strengths. If he went in there and fought Brandon Rios December 8th, I would pick Pacquiao in a heartbeat. I think Pacquiao would obliterate Brandon Rios. I don't even think it'd be a close fight. Brandon Rios is just like Margarito. He comes in, he's not fast, he really doesn't have a good defense, and Pacquiao would just absolutely destroy him. Would I like to see Pacquiao fight Brandon Rios? Yes, I would love to see Pacquiao beat the crap out of someone. It's fun to watch him. When he's fighting someone like that, it's fun to watch him get an angle, come in, and just throw a 10-punch combination and land every shot. It's fun to watch that. But in this fight, I'm going to take Marquez, but I guarantee you, if it goes to the scorecards, Pacquiao's going to get a decision. One way or the other, he's going to get a decision because they're trying to make that Brandon Rios fight. You know, mark my words, but go by what your eyes see, not what the judges' scorecards tell you. You know, I think Marquez will legitimately win this fight, just like I thought he legitimately won the third fight. Let me know what you guys think. This video's ran a little bit longer than I thought it was going to run. Just let me know what you guys think. I'm going to look through some more upcoming fights. I'll probably put out a couple more videos here in the next week. But let's get a discussion going in the comments. And see you guys later. Peace.